For most people, the Odyssey is mythology, okay? And the Bible is history. But why? I believe truth has nothing to fear from investigation. Now, Christopher Nolan is bringing the Odyssey to theaters. Millions of people will watch Odysseus battle monsters, encounter gods, survive impossible storms, and spend years trying to make it home. Now, nobody walks out of the theater wondering whether Poseidon literally caused the storms. Nobody asks where Cyclops fossils are buried. Nobody searches for Circe's island. We understand what we're watching: an ancient civilization explaining the world through story, through symbolism, through heroes, through gods. And yet, many of those same people approach the Bible differently. When Moses parts the Red Sea, when Jonah survives inside a great fish, when Joshua stops the sun, when a talking serpent appears in Eden, when Jesus walks on water. Many insist these events happened exactly as described. Now I ask a simple question. Why do we use one standard for Homer and another for the Bible? Is it because the evidence is stronger? Or because one story belongs to our culture and the other belongs to someone else's? Think about it. Both books describe divine intervention. Both contain miracles. Both feature chosen heroes. Both describe supernatural beings interacting with humanity. Both explore temptation, sacrifice, justice, loyalty, revenge, and hope. Both have shaped civilizations. The real difference isn't necessarily what's inside the books. It's how we choose to read them. I admire the beauty of great literature. I don't mock Homer because Homer wasn't trying to write modern science. I appreciate poetry as poetry. My concern arises when poetry becomes history, when metaphor becomes fact, when questioning becomes forbidden. The Odyssey never demanded that governments teach it as literal history. It never claimed eternal punishment for doubting Odysseus. The Bible, however, has often been treated differently throughout history. For centuries, people have fought wars over its interpretation. People have been imprisoned for questioning it. Scientific discoveries have sometimes been resisted because they conflicted with traditional readings. That's where I focus my criticism. Not on beautiful stories, but on certainty without sufficient evidence. Imagine if archaeologists discovered a Greek family today that sincerely believed that Zeus still threw lightning bolts from Mount Olympus. Most people would politely call that mythology. But if another family sincerely believes that a global flood covered the entire earth just a few thousand years ago, many hesitate to apply that same level of skepticism. Why? If consistency matters, shouldn't extraordinary claims require the same standard of evidence regardless of which culture tells the story? Now, before anyone misunderstands me, recognizing similarities between the Bible and Greek mythology doesn't prove either one false, nor does it prove either one true. It simply reminds us that human beings across cultures have always created stories that answer life's biggest questions. Where do we come from? Why do people suffer? What makes someone a hero? How should we live? What happens after death? Those questions belong to all of humanity. The answers have taken many forms: Egyptian, Greek, Norse, Hindu, Jewish, Christian, Muslim. Each culture tells stories reflecting its own hopes, fears, and understanding of the universe. I believe our responsibility isn't to stop asking questions once a story becomes sacred. It's to ask even better questions. Perhaps that's why the Odyssey still speaks to us after nearly 3,000 years. Not because we think Poseidon is real, but because Odysseus is us. We're all trying to find our way home. We're all tempted. We're all tested. We're all searching for wisdom. Stories endure because they reveal truths about human nature, even when they aren't literal history. Maybe that's the greatest compliment we can pay both Homer and the Bible. We don't have to force them into science textbooks. We can appreciate them as profound expressions of humanity's search for meaning. If this kind of conversation interests you, subscribe. On this channel, we examine religion, philosophy, and culture with curiosity, evidence, and empathy. The goal isn't to tell you what to believe, it's to encourage all of us to think more deeply.